These are the top 11 richest coaches in The Voice's history. But how much money do these mega stars really have? And how did they make it all? Let's take a look. Number 11. John Legend. $100 million. John Legend didn't enter the music world with a bang like some stars. In fact, when he first started, he was more comfortable behind the scenes, with guest appearances on songs like Jay-Z's Encore and Alicia Keys' You Don't Know My Name. He was uncredited then, but not anymore. After becoming the very first artist ever signed to Kanye West's Good music label, his debut album they released went double platinum, and now everyone knows Legend's name. After that incredible debut, he's gone on to achieve some amazing things, including becoming the first African-American to earn a spot in the exclusive EGOT Club. That's people who have won Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Awards. It's seriously impressive. The All of Me singer joined The Voice for its 16th season and stuck with it until taking a step back on season 23. But he told fans they didn't need to be too sad and claimed he'd be back soon. And sure enough, it looks like he'll be returning for the upcoming season. The Voice has contributed to part of Legend's gigantic net worth. Over the years, it's grown to an incredible $100 million. But it's not the only way Legend earned all that cash. He's worked on films and in theater for years, and not just as a musician, but as an executive producer too. He uses that wealth wisely and has built a large property portfolio with his wife, Chrissy Teigen. They own an extravagant $5 million home and a Beverly Hills mansion worth $17 million. These investments ensure his money will be stable for years to come. But when he's not spending his millions on expensive property, he's known for his generous philanthropy. He's gifted his talents and his money to important charities both within the US and across the world, hoping to make it a better place. John Legend is using his incredible wealth for good. The next person on our list is even richer. What's he using his money for? Number 10. Blake Shelton. $120 million. Unlike all the pop and R&B stars on this list, Blake Shelton made his money in country music. His very first album went platinum and spent 5 years at number 1. You'd think it couldn't get any better, but his career has been growing ever since. He made a name for himself with people who don't even listen to country music by taking on roles in more than one reality singing show. Starting with Nashville Star and Clash of the Choirs, he then moved on to, you guessed it, The Voice. He earns a $13 million paycheck for that show, but he also has the most wins out of all the coaches in the show's history. And if you haven't guessed already, he gets bonuses for that. All that, plus his celebrity endorsement deals for brands like Pizza Hut and Pepsi, and he's gathered a whopping $120 million net worth. How does he spend all that cash? Well, we have one very interesting bit of information about that. Fans of The Voice will know all about his romance with fellow judge Gwen Stefani. Well, rumor has it, when he decided to propose, he splashed out on an engagement ring that apparently cost up to $800 grand. I guess if you're gonna marry a pop star, only the best will do. Blake has a lot of cash to spend, but the next person on our list has even more. Number 9. Alicia Keys. $150 million. Alicia Keys' career really took off in 2001. Suddenly, she went from an ordinary person to the biggest-selling new artist in the US. She was also the biggest-selling R&B artist at the time. It was the kind of overnight success story most people can only dream of. The very next year, she became the second American ever to win 5 Grammy Awards in one night. But despite her musical success, her huge net worth doesn't come from her hit albums alone. She's found success in acting roles, as well as lending her songs to hit films like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. She earns money endorsing big brands like Dove and Mercedes-Benz, and she even works as a producer. Her role on The Voice in seasons 11, 12, and 14 reportedly came with an impressive $8 million paycheck. Add it all up, and she apparently has a net worth of $150 million. Recently, she splashed out on an impressive mansion in Southern California called the Razor House, which cost her an estimated $20.8 million. So, she sure knows how to spend her money as well as earn it. If you think Alicia's bank balance is impressive, you're right, but the next person on our list has her beat. Number 8. Adam Levine, $160 million. The only lasting member of pop band Maroon 5 is frontman Adam Levine. In fact, he was with them when they were a totally different band called Kara's Flowers, who only released one album that was a major commercial flop. That's pretty surprising, considering that all 7 of Maroon 5's albums were hugely successful. He joined The Voice in Season 1, staying for a whopping 16 seasons before he decided he needed to move on to other things. And there are a lot of other things in Levine's life. In 2012, he decided to kick off a career in acting with a character named Leo Morrison in the 2nd season of hit show American Horror Story. Obviously, that only led to more success, and he was soon getting acting roles in big Hollywood movies like Begin Again and pop star Never Stop, Never Stopping, 2016. A year after his acting debut, he launched his own fragrance line and began a collaboration with Kmart and ShopYourWay.com to develop a menswear fashion collection. As if that wasn't enough, he also owns a record label called 222 Records and a production company called, you guessed it, 222 Productions. With all that work, it's probably not surprising that the moves like Jagger Singer has a net worth of $160 million. But how's he spending it? Well, he has a $2 million car collection. We don't know exactly how many cars he has, but we do know it includes a Mercedes-Benz, a Porsche, and a Ferrari. He also owns more than one luxury property in New York and California. Think he's living the dream? Wait till you hear he's also married to the former Victoria's Secret supermodel, Behati Prinsloo. She seems to have stuck by him even though he was accused of having a year-long affair with a TikTok model in 2022, which Levine denied. Looks like there's a hint of trouble in paradise for Levine. Number 7. Gwen Stefani, $160 million. Gwen Stefani announced her solo career with the song Rich Girl, and she's living up to it. It marked the moment she went from just a girl with the band No Doubt to a super wealthy pop star. But her debut solo album going platinum was only the start of her success. And let's face it, that's a big statement when she sold millions of albums while she was heading up No Doubt with her brother. Her music success led her to success on talent shows, but she didn't start her TV career on The Voice. She actually started as a mentor on American Idol. She only started on The Voice in Season 7, when she took over from Christina Aguilera. And she returned for Seasons 9, 12, 17, 19, and 22. Rumor has it she was earning a shocking $10 million paycheck per season. But then she got lucky in 2 ways. A romance blossomed with co-judge Blake Shelton. Fans were captivated by the on-screen romance, and producers of the show felt they needed to reward all the ratings the couple was bringing to the show. So Stefani's paycheck went up by $5 million per season. That would be enough to make her rich without the amazing music career. But she's done a lot more with her fame. She owns a fashion line called Lamb, launched a range of fashion dolls, and even has her own fragrance, which grew into a whole collection. She also began a career in acting way back in 2004 with the Scorsese film The Aviator, which led her to roles in other classics like Gossip Girl. She's also been the face of big brands like Urban Decay, which earned her even more cash. All of that explains her impressive $160 million net worth. She's not flashy about her money, but she does own a Porsche. But what about the coach she took over from? Don't worry, we've got her covered too. Number 6. Christina Aguilera, $160 million. Christina Aguilera joined the very first season of The Voice, staying for the next 2 seasons and returning for seasons 5, 8, and 10. But long before her role on The Voice, she was cementing herself as a global superstar. Since releasing her debut single, Genie in a Bottle, in 1999, she's sold over 75 million albums. But aside from her career as one of the most successful touring pop stars ever, she's also a successful actress. In fact, not many people realize she was an actress before she became a singer. She landed a role on the all-new Mickey Mouse Club when she was just 12 years old. She also performed reflections in the hit film Mulan just 1 week before she signed a contract with RCA Records. Since becoming a famous pop star, her movie roles have changed. She performed in the film Burlesque alongside fellow pop star Cher. More recently, her voice made an appearance in the Emoji Movie. She draws her income from her music sales, tours, acting, and brand endorsements. Through all this, Christina Aguilera has built up a $160 million fortune. But what has she done with it? Well, she owns a $10 million mansion in the Hollywood Hills and another $11.5 million Mediterranean-style home in Beverly Hills. Both of them indicate a lavish lifestyle that she definitely deserves. She also seems to love luxury cars, and her collection would make any car lover jealous. It includes a Lamborghini Aventador, Ferrari California T, Range Rover Sport, Ford Mustang GT, Lincoln Town Car, and a custom Rolls-Royce Phantom. But she doesn't only spend money on luxuries. She's given a lot of her own money to charity and also contributes her talents to help them raise funds. She once helped the Borgen Project raise over $37 million for hunger relief efforts in 130 countries. That's almost as impressive as her amazing career. There's no doubt that Christina Aguilera has helped a lot of people, including contestants on The Voice. But the next person on our list is equally impressive. Number 5. Miley Cyrus, $160 million. I don't think we need to explain how this mega star made her rise to fame. Her first taste of stardom came from the hugely popular Disney series Hannah Montana. Instead of just being a first step into Hollywood, it was a global success that earned her $15 grand an episode. It also meant all eyes were on Miley when she became an adult and changed her image. Her debut album went platinum, and despite her controversial act, she's still as famous as ever. She also stepped into the world of movies, but we're not just talking about the Hannah Montana movie. She also starred in the highly successful film The Last Song, and took on other serious acting roles in hits like Black Mirror. The popular singer made her debut as a coach on Season 11 of The Voice, before returning for Season 13. If you saw her paycheck, you'd know why. She was earning a whopping $13 million per season. But that huge amount of cash makes up only a small portion of her $160 million net worth. She does like to spend that cash. She's obviously obsessed with Mercedes because she reportedly owns several different models. She also has a Maserati Quattroporte and a McLaren MP4 12C. As if the flashy cars weren't enough to show off her wealth, she also owns a personal zoo that she bought with her ex, Liam Hemsworth. But as flashy as she is, she also gives a lot of her money to charity. In 2018, Miley lost her house in the devastating South California fires. But instead of jumping to buy more property, she instead responded by donating a huge sum of cash to the Malibu Foundation to support other people who had been affected by the disaster. She may be controversial, but it looks like she's really kind behind closed doors. The next star on our list has even more money than Miley. But who is it? And how are they spending all that cash? Number 4. Usher, $180 million. Hip-hop musician Usher is such a big star that we all hear a tune in our heads every time we hear his name. Yes, you know the one. But his road to making a fortune isn't as simple as creating hit songs. Sure, he definitely did that. In fact, his album Confessions was certified with diamond status in its first week. That's one step up from platinum. It wasn't his debut, though. He was only 15 when he released his first album, but it was 3 years later that he made the Billboard Hot 100 and became a household name. But what about all the other things he does in his varied career? Well, like most music superstars, he's tried his hand at acting, even taken on a role in the beloved jazz musical Chicago on Broadway. He's also made sure to include some clever investments on his resume. His stake in music streaming platform Tidal earns him money every day. And let's not forget, he also invested $9 million into the Cleveland Cavaliers NBA team a few years ago. Usher made his appearance as a coach on The Voice next to Shakira on seasons 4 and 6. It was reported that he was earning $7 million per season. All his business ventures and musical hits put together have earned him a staggering $180 million. But what has he done with it? Well, he owns 2 palatial mansions, one in Georgia and another in the Hollywood Hills, which features a super cool private cinema with beanbag beds instead of chairs. That's right, Usher knows how to live. He also loves cars and bikes and is the proud owner of a Ferrari 458 Spider, a Brawler GTC, a Ducati 848 Evo Superbike, and a Ducati Monster 1100 Evo motorbike. He also not only donates generously to charity, but owns several charities himself. Usher has had a long time to earn his fortune, but the next coach from The Voice only hit the big time recently. How much money has she got? Number 3. Ariana Grande, $200 million. Ariana Grande only just turned 30 at the time this video was released, but she's earned a ton of cash during her few years in the spotlight. She actually started out on Broadway at 15 years old after performing in local theaters. She stepped into the world of TV when she was cast in Nickelodeon's Victorious, which saw her earning $9 grand per episode plus extra cash for writing songs for the production. While she was working on that show, she was also writing songs for her debut album, which became a huge hit. After that, music became her focus, and it's clear to see why. Her Dangerous Woman tour earned her an incredible $71 million. But that's not the only thing earning her tons of cash. She loves releasing fragrances and already has loads under her belt. It's clear to see why, because they've reportedly brought in more than $150 million in sales. Sure, she doesn't get every penny of that, but she'll still get a lot of that money. She only appeared on The Voice for season 21, but it might have been worth it for her. Some reports say she received a paycheck of $25 million for that one season. That contributed a lot to her amazing $200 million net worth. And she knows how to spend cash. She's often spotted wearing high-fashion brands like Fendi, Sergio Rossi, Chanel, and Louis Vuitton. All of those items will cost thousands of dollars. Her LA mansion in the Hollywood Hills reportedly cost a whopping $13.7 million, but she wasn't done buying property. She snapped up a Montecito mansion for another $7 million. She's also been spotted boarding private jets more often than some billionaires. But even though she loves spending cash, she also generously donated $5 million to help people get free therapy in honor of World Mental Health Day. Think $200 million is a lot of money? We need to jump up a bit to match the bank balance of the next coach on our list. Number 2. Pharrell Williams, $250 million. Pharrell Williams began a music career in the early 90s with production duo The Neptunes. He had no idea what kind of success was waiting for him, but he was only creating songs for other people back then, and it would take years before he finally debuted as an artist in 2005. He mainly found success through releasing singles, and the song Happy was the most successful, earning him $6 million. Imagine making that kind of money from just one song. While other people are trying to become solo superstars, Pharrell seems happy to collaborate, and it seems to be working for his net worth. But it's not just music earning him money. He's being paid for multiple endorsement deals, including for Beats by Dre. And he also released a very successful fashion brand called the Billionaire Boys Club. All that, plus his house flipping hobby that sometimes earns him millions, and he's gathered $250 million. He appeared on The Voice as a coach from season 7 to 10. He reportedly earned an impressive $8 million per season. But he deserved it as the mentor of 16-year-old Sawyer Fredericks, who became the youngest male winner in the history of the show. How does he spend his huge bank balance? Well, he apparently spent $30 million in a mansion in Miami to quarantine in during the pandemic, while everyone else seemed to be saving every penny. He also had an LA house in, you guessed it, the Hollywood Hills, which is valued at $7 million. But it looks like he put it up for sale a few years ago, so it might have been another house flipping project. He also hands over a lot of his wealth to charity, and he's given to more good causes than we can count. Impressively, he helped to raise money for a $35 million after-school center in his hometown to help underprivileged kids. If that's not a good cause, we don't know what is. If you're thinking Pharrell has to be the wealthiest coach on our list, think again. We have one more for you, and her net worth is even higher than Pharrell's. Number 1. Shakira. $300 million. Colombian megastar Shakira knows how to grow her money like nobody else. She's the highest-selling Colombian singer of all time, which already proves just how famous she really is. With a song as popular as Hips Don't Lie, she's earned tons of cash from album sales and tours. Her El Dorado World Tour was her biggest yet, earning her $76 million. And like all rich recording artists, she has had her fair share of side hustles too. She was sponsored by Pepsi when she headlined the Super Bowl with fellow superstar J-Lo, which means unlike most performers who do that show for exposure, the two of them probably walked away with a few $1 million for their performance. She also had a role in the animated film Zootopia. And of course, there was her time as a coach on The Voice during Season 4 and again in Season 6. It's reported she earned $12 million per season. But surprisingly, most of her net worth really seems to be from her music. And that's pretty rare, especially for a star with $300 million in the bank. Shakira loves spending her money on property in amazing locations, and she has homes all over the world. Her houses can be found in Miami, Barcelona, Uruguay, Cyprus, and even a private island in the Bahamas. She also owns a fair share of luxury cars and even a private jet. She's also passionate about giving to the Colombian charity organization Barefoot Foundation, which she founded herself to help impoverished children in her home country. That might make up for the alleged tax evasion accusations she's faced. Think these music stars are wealthy? They're not even close to being the richest musicians out there. Just take a look at these female rappers who are the richest in the world. Their bank balance will blow your mind.